Hey Dave, this new slow and sear is really weird. So obviously we're doing something a little bit different today based on popular demand. We've got a lot of questions about this. We are going to sous vide, and it may not surprise you, but Dave's got a really cool recipe that we're excited to show you today. Where did you get the idea for this recipe?
So the first time I ran into sous vide was on the road in Columbus at Greenhouse Tavern. I had a ribeye that they had sous vide and grilled, and it was amazing. Since then, the technique's gotten more popular. Most recently, this year, AmazingRibs.com wrote several articles on sous vide and how to combine it with outdoor cooking. A lot of great information. You should definitely check that out.
Awesome. Okay, so for people who aren't familiar with this device, can you kind of explain how this works?
Okay, so this is the sous vide device here, and then this is a water bath. The sous vide device warms the water bath to a temperature that you set on it. There's a display right here. We've got our temperature at 131, and then it has a circulator that keeps that water moving around in the box. We use this to basically cook our meat. You put it in either a vacuum sealed bag or a Ziploc bag that you've burped the air out of. You put it in the water. The sous vide device quickly brings that meat up to your desired temperature. Today it's 131, which is medium rare, and then it holds that meat at that temperature so you don't overcook, and then over time it will tenderize as it stays at that temperature.
Okay, so what's the downside to sous vide? Is there anything missing?
So one thing about sous vide is when you're done, the meat is cooked, but it's ugly and it's not seared, and it doesn't have smoke flavor. And we're outdoor cooks. We love to sear because we know what that Maillard reaction tastes like, and we love smoky flavor you get from cooking with charcoal and wood. You don't get that from sous vide. So what we're going to show you today is how to cook using the sous vide device and the reverse sear technique to get the best of both worlds.
So obviously by the title, we are doing tri-tip today, and Dave was telling me just a minute ago, tri-tip is like the perfect cut of meat for this new method, and maybe you could just kind of explain that a little bit.
Yeah, tri-tip comes from the loin subprimal of the cow, and it's also known as bottom sirloin. This particular cut has a great sirloin flavor, but it's irregularly shaped, which means it's hard to cook evenly. And because it's the bottom part of the sirloin, it tends to be a little chewy if you don't cook it right and carve it right. We're going to sous vide this cut today, and that does a couple of things for us. It cooks it evenly despite the irregular shape, and because we're bringing it up to a medium rare temperature and then holding it at that medium rare temperature for a period of time, it is going to tenderize it a bit.
So where do we start with this recipe? What's the first thing we need to do? Do we dry brine it?
Well, we're not going to dry brine it because the salt is going to penetrate the meat while it's in the sous vide bath. But what we do have to do is put the meat in the bag, and then we have to decide what goes in the bag with the meat. A lot of people would tell you that you need to put butter, oil, herbs, salt, pepper, all kinds of things in that bag. In my experience and in my opinion, it's a waste to put anything in that bag aside from the salt. The oil or the butter combines with other juices that are flowing from the meat, and it actually takes meat flavor away. If you prefer the flavor of butter to meat, by all means put it in the bag, otherwise just leave it out. So we're going to start by applying our salt. We're going to do a half teaspoon of kosher salt or a quarter teaspoon of table salt, depending on what you have, and we're just going to coat the meat. And then once we're done with that, we're going to put it in the bag, and then the bag goes in the sous vide.
Okay, so we've been sous videing this tri-tip for 3 hours?
Yeah, 3 hours.
Is that a pretty standard amount of time for a sous vide, or?
Well, the great thing about sous vide is there's a wide range of time within which the meat's done. For a steak, it's about 1 hour to 4 hours. So after an hour, we could have been done then, or we could have waited another hour or so.
Okay, and what are we gonna do next?
We are going to take our steak out of the sous vide bath, and we're going to move it over here to this ice water. We want to quickly chill it to refrigerator temps.
Okay, and why is the ice bath important?
Well, it's important from a food safety perspective. It's just better to get it down to fridge temps quickly, so we're out of the danger zone. And then two, we've got to cool the meat off so that we can reverse sear it and get all that smoky flavor that we're looking for.
Okay. Now, most importantly, are you going to burn me or yourself when you do this?
It depends.
Okay.
Let's go for neither.
I'll get out of your way here.
All right. Oh, well, it's not that hard. I mean, the water is only 130, so you don't have to worry about steam or anything like that coming off. So we just take off the lid. I mean, you can even touch it briefly and be okay. It's about similar to running hot tap water. So take that out, put it in the ice bath, make sure it's submerged, and we just leave it there for a while.
That does not look good.
It is fully cooked. Let's eat.
I'm gonna pass on that. We got to do something else to this.
What would you like?
I got an idea. How about a reverse sear?
That's a reverse sear, yep. So, you know, it comes out of the bag fully cooked, but it's got that gray, pale appearance. There's no Maillard reaction on the surface of the steak because it just didn't get warm enough for that to occur. So we're gonna reverse sear this. To prep that, the first thing we need to do is pat the stain dry, so we'll do that. Once we've got it dry, we'll coat it with some oil. And we'll work that all the way around. I'm going to try to just use one hand, so I still have my other hand for the garlic and the pepper.
So it's garlic and pepper. We've already done our salt, so we don't have to do that again.
Right. We could have held back on the salt earlier and applied a little on the surface now, but we salted pretty heavily in the beginning, so I'm not going to put extra salt. So it's just pepper and garlic for a more traditional steak flavor. Now, a lot of people like to use some type of chili, and you know, you can go anywhere from this, and we're going to put the pepper on now. If you want to use some kind of chili powder, you know, it could be or pepper, it could be paprika, it could be cayenne, you know, get it as hot as you like. As far as how much pepper or how much garlic we're going to put on here, just season to taste. Now remember, this is a fairly thick cut of meat, so you can actually put a pretty good bit of seasoning on here without over seasoning. So if it looks like I'm putting a lot on there, it's because I'm putting a lot on there.
Right.
All right, so there's our garlic powder. I usually go light on garlic, so I won't put as much of that.
All right, we'll get that other side taken care of, and we'll see you guys out by the grill.
Yeah. All right, we have just started reverse searing the tri-tip, and I want to show you our setup. All right, so we've got the slow and sear over here with 25 fully lit briquettes, and there's one chunk of fully lit hickory in there because we want good clean smoke coming from that hickory chunk right from the beginning of the cook. The tri-tip's on the indirect side, and we're going to be cooking that at 225 to 250. We've got a little water in the water pan, just a little bit, maybe a half cup. That water is going to boil off pretty quick and help us with some good smoke adhesion at the beginning of the cook. And we're just going to let that go. So this tri-tip will be in there for maybe 45 minutes to an hour. When it hits about 110 degrees, it'll be ready to sear. To make sure that we have hot charcoal at that time, we're going to light a chimney of charcoal when the tri-tip hits about 90 to 95 degrees. So by the time the tri-tip gets to 110, we'll have fully lit charcoal. We'll add that to the slow and sear, and then we can start searing the tri-tip. All right, we got a hot sear zone. We've got a cold grate. It's time to start searing that tri-tip. So we're going to put the grate on. We want to get the food on quickly before the grate can get hot, which we got right here, so that's not too hard. Put that right there. Some of our OCD fans might notice that the grate's not perfectly parallel with the slow and sear. It drives me nuts, but most people don't care. All right, we're gonna start the timer. We're going to sear this for about a minute, and it's not quite flat, so I'm gonna stretch it out a little bit. I'm able to do that because the grate's cold, so the meat doesn't stick to it. Makes it easy to place and then get it right where you want it. So this is good. We're gonna let this sear for another 45 seconds or so, and then we'll come back when we're ready to spin. All right, we've hit the 1 minute point, so we're gonna spin the grate and we're gonna flip the tri-tip. So I'm spinning the grate, so we have cold grate again over the sear zone. Put the tri-tip on, and I'm gonna try to turn this a little bit. Hopefully you can see the sear, but you can see we're already getting a good sear. And I will let that go for another minute, and then we'll spin again. I mean, that garlic is just popping right now. Oh, that smells so good. All right, we just hit 2 minutes, so we're gonna spin the grate. We're gonna flip the tri-tip again. All right, so I'm spinning so that we have cold grate over the coals again, and just move the tri-tip over to the sear zone. That's all there is to it. We'll wait another minute. All right, we're gonna spin one last time, and put ourselves back over the sear zone. And oh, look at that. Nice. Let's see. Yeah, that's what you call a nice Maillard reaction. We're gonna let that go another minute and then we'll come back. Okay, I lied. We're gonna spin the grate actually one more time because I need to do the edges. But this thing is looking really nice. I'm just gonna hold it vertically like this, probably for 30 seconds or so, and get this side, and then we'll get the bottom, and then we're gonna be done. So we'll check back in a little bit. So here we are, we got our tri-tip, we just cut into it. Justin, what do you think?
It looks gorgeous. It looks really, really good.
Yeah, I agree. The one thing you can tell about a tri-tip is when the muscles look loosely bound together like that, that's a sign that you've got a nice and tender result. I think we need to slice a piece or two off and judge. Let's see what we think.
Sounds good to me. All right, man, let's do this.
Yeah, let's do this for science. OMG. Wow.
Okay, I know you told me not to say that's good because I say that's good in every single video, but that's freaking good and I don't care.
So you're gonna repeat yourself anyway?
I'm gonna repeat myself anyways. Okay, so
Yeah.
our goal here today was to take what could be a tough cut of meat and make it tender, and we did that. And then we wanted to take a sous vide piece of meat and give it a smoky flavor, and we did that, and this is good.
I agree. The sous vide process definitely took any chewiness out of this tri-tip, and
Yeah.
in fact the bite reminded me more of a ribeye or maybe a strip steak. No chewiness at all.
That's the perfect way to describe it.
Yeah.
It really does. It really does.
The flavor from the rub, because we apply it after the bag and then we reverse sear, you're just getting a nice blooming of all those the pepper and the garlic. It's just a robust steak flavor, not chewy.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. It magnifies the flavors of the few. I mean, the only spices we used were pepper and garlic and salt, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, but it tastes like so much more than that. This is great. Give this a try. Do yourself a favor. This is awesome.
Yeah, no matter if have used sous vide before you comment on this, try it. Just try it. That's all we ask. Don't come tell us it stinks until you've tried it.
You won't come tell us it stinks after that. Anyways, thanks for watching this. If you want to see more of our recipes, check out abcbarbecue.com. And remember, here at Adrenaline Barbecue Company, we didn't invent the kettle.
We perfected it.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching.
That's freaking good.
It's amazing. Let's eat more.
Okay.